everyone, Rose here. As promised, the Christmas tree. We're going to be doing this big one today. That way, if you wanted to make it smaller, then you've got the base for it, okay? It's just so pretty. I mean, it just looks like a Christmas tree to me. Yeah, let's see if I can get this out a little bit. But this is what I'm thinking about for when I decorate my my pie tray. I think I'm going to be doing them in this color. Same with like Thanksgiving. I'm going to have like candy corns and whatnot in these pastel colors. And this is what I want to show you. I like them like this because they stand real nice. But here's that candy corn we just did. It fits really good in there on the smaller one. I think I stopped at row 30 on this one, which will make sense when we get to it. But it makes a nice little stand-up thing. Now this is what I want to show you before we get started. You can probably already see the difference in them. On this one, I did it with, there's a row in between of single crochet. And on this one, there's no single crochet row. It's just every single row gets the petals, we're calling them, the petals. So if you wanted a little more open, then you can do that. But I really like the way it turned out. It's very, very dense. The white's hard to see, and then I just improv'd a star up there. But even without a star, these look really good. I was starting one and I messed up, so stuffed them in there. But I really like the candy corn. It gives it like some firmness without being too soft for some reason. It must be that extra layer of yarn there. This is the one we were going to do, and I think I had mentioned it in one of my videos, but after you know how I am. I get started and then I messed up and then I kept going and then I discovered that I like this better. It's very, very similar, but I like this one better. And of course, I got to show you. Now, obviously, I am no light decorator, as you can see. I just did some rows of decrease so I can get it to stay in there. But these are these fairy lights. I got these at Dollar Tree. And I know Hobby Lobby will have them. I'm going to try to fix that a little bit. But there's also these at the Dollar Tree. Okay, well, so what we're going to need is, again, we're going to do the H 5.0 millimeter. Some scissors, tapestry needle, and stitch marker is optional. Stuffing, and I'm going to try this color, which is You'll Be Missed. I got this on this year's clearance from Hobby Lobby. This was really one of the only things they had left. I got there late, so I'm going to try that color. And I believe that's it. Go get your supplies, and I'll meet you right back. Okay, got my notes ready. All right. We're going to start with the magic circle. Okay. Or you can do a chain 2 and do 4 single crochets in the first chain. So we're going to put 4 single crochets in the magic loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to not join, and in that first single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, first single crochet, we're going to do an increase. And we're going to go from 4 to 6. So it'll be 1 single crochet, put another one in there. So that's 1 and 2. Next, 1 single crochet, 3. Increase in the next for 4 and 5. And then the last one is 6. Now we're going to do another increase from 6 to 9. And that's going to be a repeat 3 times. I'm going to put an increase in this first one. So that's 1 and 2. Next one, single crochet. We're going to repeat that around. Do an increase in the next, 4 and 5, and then 1 single crochet in the next. Then one more time. Increase for 7 and 8, and then the last one is 9. So we have 9 single crochets. Now we're going to start the repeat. This thing is going to grow in multiples of 3. Okay, 9 single crochets. And like I said, this is the start of the repeat. So we have our front loop, and we have that back loop there. The petals are all going to be done in the front loop. Okay, so the way we're going to do it is we're going to single crochet. Okay, and just for the sake of it, keep your eye on that back loop. Okay, just keep your eye on it. And then we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. And then back into that front loop, we're going to slip stitch. That's the first petal or branch. We're going to go into the next single crochet, and we're going to repeat that. It's going to be a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in that front loop. Okay. If you need to, I'm just saying, if you need to, go ahead and put a stitch marker in that back loop, because when we come around, it's hard to see. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do that now. I'll wait for you. And let's carry on with our next branch. Front loop, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Pull it up a little bit, you know, it helps see. Slip stitch. Next single crochet, repeat. Single crochet, chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, slip stitch back in that front loop. And we're just going to do this all the way around. Single crochet, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch. Next one. Single crochet, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch. And at the end of this one, we're going to have 9 petals. Okay, so before I do anything, let me check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got one more. And this is a tip. Stretch it apart, and then that last front loop will reveal itself. Single crochet, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch. Now, here's that first petal, and this is another little tip here. If you pull it up, You see this here is actually the front loop. And if you pull it up and stretch it, that's that back loop. So you can just pull it apart a little bit, and then, because that's what we're going to work into. We're going to work in all those back loops. It's just the first one is hard. Every row, it wants to go incognito. Now, for the back, we're going to start increasing. So we have 9. We're going to go up to 12. So in that back loop, we're going to do an increase of 1 and 2. Followed by, push those petals down, followed by 2 single crochets in the next 2 back loops. That's 3. That's 4. Fold them down. In the next one, we're going to do an increase. Will be 5 and 6. Followed by 2 single crochets. 7, 8. And for our last set here, be 9 and 10. $11, and again, pull it, 12. Okay. So real quickly, if you wanted to do that really dense one, skip this step. Now when we look at it, start seeing the single crochets, that first one is always like at a slant. It always is like at a slant, and the rest are like this way. So just reach in there, and we're going to do 1 single crochet all the way around, and we're going to have 12 single crochets. I'm going to go ahead and put a stitch marker there just for the video. 1. And I'll see you at the end of this one with 12 single crochets. 12. All right. Cruising along already. Here we are. Now we're going to go back and we're going to start branches again. And this does get easier. The first several I made, it was a struggle bus. I just didn't get the concept of it. But I kept working it, and I can see it in my mind now, so it will get easier. All right, we've done that. Now we're starting row 7, and we're starting our petals. We're going to go in the front loop, and we're going to make 12 petals. So this one is going to be a repeat of the first one. We're going to do a single crochet, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch right back into that front loop. And that's what we're going to do. Go in the next front loop, single crochet, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch right back in there. Next front loop, pick it up, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch. Do that all the way around, and we should have 12 petals. Pull it apart so I can see. And this is what we're looking like. All right, back to the back loops. I call it the back loop increase, because every time we do this first back loop, it's always an increase. So I'm going to pull this down. And if you pull it down, the rest of the line starts showing up. So it's just a matter of pulling it and just seeing the line also. So we have 12 single crochets, we're going to go up to 15. So here's an increase of 1 and 2. Do your stitch marker if you need, followed by 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Next set will be an increase, 4 and 5, followed by 3 single crochets in that back loop. And then our last set, which is 11 and 12, and 3 single crochets. 13, 14, 15. And then we're going to do 1 row of single crochets, and it'll be 15. So there's 1, 2, and I'll meet you at the end of this one with 15 single crochets. Coming along nice. Back to our branches. We are starting row 10. From this point, we're changing the chain. So we're going to go in that front loop, do a single crochet, and now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back into that front loop with a slip stitch. So that's the only difference. Go in that front loop, single crochet, and now chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch. Let's do one more together. Go in that front loop, single crochet, chain 4, 3, 4, and then slip stitch back in there. And at the end of this one, we're going to have 15 petals. I count my branches every row just because I just want to be sure. Here we are. Back to the back loops. Back loop increase. Fold that down. Fold it down. Okay. And on this one, we're going to go from 15 to 18. So we are on row 11. So let's do an increase in that first one. 1 and 2, followed by 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that 2 more times. Do an increase, that 1 loop, and followed by 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last set. Increase, followed by 4 single crochets. 2, 3. I mean, that is just nuts how it just disappears. All right, now 1 single crochet, and keep an eye on that one, that slanty one. And we should have 18 single crochets. So I'll meet you at the end of row 12 with 18 single crochets. I don't know if you guys have noticed it yet, but on the back, see how these are all like, they kind of are in a row, but where we slip stitch and everything, they start turning like that. I'm kind of using that as a guide of where I start, if you don't want to use a stitch marker. And here we go. We're on row 13. Back to our branches. I think we can probably start picking up the pace now because it's the same concept. We're just doing these 3 rows over and over again. So we're going to do the front post single crochet, and we're still going to do the chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch. And then we're going to do this all the way around, and we're going to have, what we're going to have? We're going to have 18 petals on this one. Front loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will see you at the end of this row with 18 petals. This is a good project to really work on your slip stitches. When I was a beginner, I really hated it, but I know they're just everywhere, so it's really hard to get away from them. So the sooner you get more proficient at it, the easier a lot of these projects become. Having the right hook set also makes a difference. Okay, 18 petals. Back loop increase. There it is. You can see it aligned with those. So we're going to go from 18 and we're going to go up to 21. And that's going to be, of course, an increase in the first two, or excuse me, an increase in the first back loop, followed by 5 single crochets. And that's the repeat. Increase, followed by 5 single crochets. Okay, and we're going to do that 3 times to 21. So increase, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last set. Increase. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oops, sorry, I keep hitting that pole. 21 single crochets. Now we're going to do 21. Go ahead and mark that. Let's do 21 single crochets around. And I'll meet you back here. 21. I hope I'm not going too fast. It's the only problem with some of these tutorials is, you know, I don't want to dawdle too long for people that have some idea. But also as a beginner, you kind of have to go like really, really slow. So I apologize if I am. I'm trying to gauge it. So here we go. All right, we are starting row 16. So we're going to go in the front loop, single, and then do that again. Chain 4, slip stitch. Single crochet, chain 4, slip stitch, all in the one loop. So you do that all the way around and you will have 21 petals. And I'll meet you back here. 4 and slip stitch. 21 petals. So that's basically the concept, but I'm still going to go ahead and get you started and meet you at the end until we get to this bigger size. Back loop, increase. Helps me stay on track. Front loop, petals, back loop, increase. And we are on row 17. And it's going to be an increase. 1 and 2. we're going from 21 to 24. So that's the 3. So we did an increase, and now in the next 6 back loops will be a single crochet. Let's do that again. Another increase, and then 6 single crochets. And then we're going to do that again. Increase with 6. Here I am with that funny looking zigzag. Of course, that first single crochet hides. So now we're going to do 1 single crochet all the way around, and we should have 24. 24. Now we're doing the front post petals, and from here on out, it's going to be a chain 5. Front loop single crochet with a chain 5. Slip stitch back in there for the rest of this whole pattern. And at the end of this one, we're going from 24, going up 3 stitches to 27. So we're going to do that all the way around with a chain 5. So it'll be front loop, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch. And then at the end of this one, we're going to have 24 petals. So I'll meet you at the end of this one. 24 petals. Now we're going to go to our back loop increase, and we're going to go from 24 to 27. And that's going to be an increase followed by 7 single crochets. So that's 1 and 2, and then 7 single crochets. And you're going to repeat that 3 times. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet all the way around for 27. 27. So what do you think? Is the concept making any sense yet? I know it didn't for me the first few times. All right, we are starting row 22, front post petal, and we're going to do the same thing. Single crochet, chain 5, slip stitch, and you're going to do that all the way around, and you're going to have 27 petals. So single, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch. And then I'll meet you at the end of this one. 27 petals. 27 petals. Now we're going to do our back loop increase. And we're going to go from 27 to 30. And the way that is going to look is we're going to do an increase in the first one, and we're going to follow it by 8. Increase, 8. Increase, 8. And that'll give us 20. That'll give us, excuse me, doing that will give us 30 single crochets all the way. So there's 1 and 2, followed by 8. And I will see you at the end of this with 30 single crochets. 30. And now our single crochet row of 30 single crochets. And I'll catch you back here, 30 single crochets. And 30. So here we go, starting the repeat again. Front post petal, front post petal. Single crochet, the chain 5. And slip stitch. Do that all the way around, and we're going to have 30 petals. Single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch. And I'll meet you right back. It's like once you get your flow, then it flows. Wow, that was really bad. Once you get your rhythm going, it just flows. So what do you guys think so far? Have you thrown yours across the room yet? Or are you hanging in there? I got the low battery mode going. Am I going to get this done? Okay, that was the front loop petals. Now we're going to do the back loop increase. And we're going to go from 30 to 33. And the way that's going to look is we're going to increase, and it's going to be followed by 9 single crochets. So increase, 9 single crochets. And then I'll meet you at the end of this with 33 single crochets. And then follow that with 1 row of 33. So I'll meet you back at the end of that. But start with the increase followed by 9 single crochets. Okay, I'm going to start my single crochet row. 33. 33. Okay. This is going to be our last one. Front loop petals. We're going to go from 33 to 36. And it's going to be the same thing. Single crochet, chain 5, slip stitch. And I'll meet you back at the end of this one. And we're going to have 33 petals. 33. 33. And then here we go. We're going to do our back loop increase. And the way that goes is an increase, and we're going to follow it with 10 single crochets. And you'll do that 3 times. Increase followed by 10 single crochets. And then following that, you'll do your last round of 36 single crochets, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so this is where we're going to leave it off before we close it up. Just a quick recap. Our last petal row, we did 33 petals. Then we did our back loop increase to 36, and then we did 1 row of single crochets to 36. So before I go, we'll come back and close it up. If you want it to still make it bigger, but you don't want it to keep flaring out, we would start back on the front petal, front loop petals, and you would just do your petals on here, and you would end up with 36 because you are increasing by 3. Here's 33, then we 30, then 27, so it's going to go up in 3s. And then when you do your back loop increase, you're not going to increase. You're just going to stay with the 36. And then you can grow it as tall as you want. So I just want to add that last bit in before we close it up. So I will be back when I charge my battery, and we'll close this up. Hi everybody, I'm back. Probably a second for you, but it's been days for me. All right, so where we left off is we just did our last row of 36 single crochets. And so this is as big as I'm going to go. So what I'd like for us to do is I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more row of 36 just to give my base a little bit more height. And then we're going to fasten off because we're just going to make a bottom. So let's go ahead and do 1 more row of 36. And I will meet you right back here. 36 single crochets. Okay, I'm back around. And I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch in this next one. chain 1, and I'm going to fasten off. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I like that little bit of height. All right, so now let's go ahead and make the base and start stuffing it and get it done. All right, you can do the chain 2 method or do a magic circle with me. All right, so there's 36. So let's start with 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to I'm not going to join. I'm going to do this in the rounds. So I'm going to get my stitch marker next to me in case I need it. So we have 6. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets in each one. I'm going to go from 6 to 12. There's 1 and 2. Go ahead and pull that. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. All right, let's keep going, see how this goes. So let's go from 12 to 18. So we're going to do 2 single crochets in the first one, followed by 1 single crochet in the next. Increase, single crochet, increase. I'm just going to count up to 18. So there's 1 and 2. Put your stitch marker there if you want. 3. Next one. 4 and 5. 6. And I'll see you at the end here. 16 and 17 and 18. All right, that's looking. Let's take a look here. All right. Now we're going to go from, let me think here. I think I'm going to go ahead and start doing a half double crochet because that hole is pretty big. So for this round, we're going to go from 18 to 24. So we're going to yarn over, go in that first stitch, and we're going to put 2 half double crochets. And then in the next 2, we're going to do 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet. That's 3 and 4. That's your block. You're going to do an increase, and then in the next 2, you're going to do 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet. So here we go. An increase, 1 and 2, followed by 2 half double crochets. 1, 2. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. Increase, followed by 2 half double crochets. Increase, half double crochet next, half double crochet next. And we should have 24 here. So let's see here, 24. All right, so we're going to go from 24 to 30. So in the first one, it's going to be 2 half double crochets. 1 and 2, followed by 3 half double crochets in the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, next one, there's 1, next one, and there's 1. That is a 5-stitch block. So let's go to the next one. I'm going to do an increase, 1 and 2, followed by 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And that's how we're going to repeat it. An increase of 2 half double crochets, followed by 1 half double crochet and the next 3 stitches. And we should have 30 half double crochets at the end of this round. This increase is pretty standard, so I know we've gone through it a lot with that, so I'm not going to dawdle too long and waste anybody's time here. And 1, 2, and 3. You can always put it down and just put your hands on it. Gets the yarn to relax a little bit. So that's looking pretty good. We're going to go from 30 to 36. And what that's going to look like is in the first stitch, we're going to do 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2, followed by 4 half double crochets. 1, next one, 1, next one, 1, next one, 1. That is six stitches in that block. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. We're going to do an increase of 1 and 2, followed by 4 half double crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to repeat that all the way around. Increase, 1 and 2, followed by 4 half double crochets. And then we should have our magical 36 at the end of this one. All right, I'm feeling pretty confident on that. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. All right, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and do about 2 feet. Go next door, and we're gonna go ahead and slip stitch. Chain 1, pull that through. I just love this color. What was it again? You'll Be Missed. So pretty. Okay. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the candy corn. I'm going to just tuck the tail in on this and then go ahead and string this up. And then again, right where I knotted off, I'm going to go, this is the right side, it's facing me. I'm going to go straight in there, and then right where I knotted off on here. Those are like the hardest bits to me. So I try to always start with the hardest part of a project. Okay. And again, I'm just going to try to get this to just kind of lay flat. Again, I'm not exactly worried about everything lining up. And I'm going to go under the front 2 loops here. And I'm also going to go through the front 2 loops there. Doing the whip stitch. And then again, just going to go next door, and I'm just going to do this all the way around. If I can get the stitches to line up next to each other, that's great. And I'm also not pulling it super tight, just kind of pulling it too, if that makes any sense. Okay, next section. I guess I don't really know if this is going to line out. I guess we're going to both find out. I like to keep myself on my toes. I just kind of freeballing it. This is the first one I've actually made a bottom for. But I do so many that are just like one pieces that I thought I'd give you a break. Lining it, keeping those things. This yarn is really good because it's like it's soft enough, but it stays in place. I'm not having to like tug anything. I think that's why I love this yarn as my favorite, is because it's really like, it seems to be the best quality for the money. Normally on projects like this, I would just do the Red Heart Super Saver because it doesn't really matter and it's not going to need to be washed. But I didn't have this particular color. And I'm just keep working around. Seems to just want to lay in place for me, and that's refreshing. And then again, when I get to where I have about maybe a couple inches, because this is a little bit bigger, then I'll probably start stuffing it. But you can definitely go ahead and stuff it as you see fit. What's your comfort? Yeah, go ahead and start. I think I'm going to have to go get some more stuffing though. Since this is a bigger project, I'm not trying to, normally on my little ones, I would break these in little pieces and start stuffing, but Okay, coming along. So I'm going to finish this up and I'm going to stuff it. And then I will meet you guys back as soon as I can get this done. In just a jiffy. All right, I'm going to stop here because I think what I'm going to do, I'm not sure for sure, but I think I'm going to try. I've got some plastic canvas and I think I'm going to try putting a piece in there. That way this isn't so like that. Even though I know I would stick it through and whatever, I think I want to try to have a little bit more of a firmer base and see what I think about that. So if that works out, I'll write it in the comments below. So I'm going to leave mine like this for now. But other than that, it's done. I just love it. And something else I noticed is that if you pull it, it kind of separates it out more. I mean, this is like not a very good angle, but in person, it's so pretty. You know, pull them up and they just like they just look so much more prettier. So, what color did you guys go with? I'll be putting my Instagram URL in the thing below and let me know if that's working because I think I'm putting it in right, but I don't know for sure. So I'd appreciate if you let me know if I'm doing that right. And other than that, I hope you guys love it, and I hope you get to make them in different colors. I'm experimenting with different colors. I think I'm going to do a purple one, and I might just have this like winter wonderland, all these different sizes, but I for sure wanted to do the big size so that you can stop anytime. I thank you guys so much. And until then, I will see you guys hopefully in the comments and catch you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.